mascara or whatever. Just as you can see, we have makeup.
We've got makeup on full. I Thought It Was Over was always going to be the first single. Even with the demo I had, it had this sense of energy.
We don't think it would sound like something people would expect from us for a start. So when they get that, buy the second album, put it on for the first time, I think they'll be quite surprised to hear that tune.
We were often told to make our music sound harder, you know, kind of like more edgy. Because, you know, if you're a rock band, you're supposed to rock, you're supposed to be this, you're supposed to be that, you're supposed to fit into that category. And we're not that, you know. I like making kind of pop, aspirational, shiny, joyful pop music, you know. I want to put smiles on people's faces.
After some serious studio stress, the band head down to the beach for a photo session with legendary lensman Henry Diltz.
Hello.
Who was the official photographer at the original hippie music festival, Woodstock, and snapped most of the band's 60s and 70s heroes, including Bob Dylan, Jimi Hendrix and The Doors.
You might be in the way.
You are in the goddamn way.
Everyone look down there.
Who are those beautiful guys?
They got the feeling.
Now we got some pictures there, even though they kicked us out twice.
Apparently I'm supposed to beware of so-called friends.
That's right.
You know, to not be so anxious to do favours to others, as there is one who is just waiting to take advantage of your good nature.
There you go.
It's really
Some
scary.
old guy's going to come up to you up here and try to be friends and pick your wallet out of your pocket, right?
With the album recorded and mixed, the initial stage is complete, but the quality of the music is only part of the final product. The band still have a lot of hard work ahead, and their future remains uncertain.
We have no idea what we're going to be doing for the next year or two. And it could all really be decided in the next couple of weeks.
In May 2007, The Feeling retreated to a country house where they recorded the follow-up to their multi-platinum selling debut album, 12 Stops and Home. After a stop-off in LA to mix the tracks, they're back in the cold of the English countryside for a long and tiring day filming the video to the crucial first single, Thought It Was Over. It's a big budget video shoot and the day's going to be long and tough. But it's vital that the finished video is strong enough to get them the necessary TV coverage to reconnect the band with their fans.
You were there when the wall came down.
Director Paul Miner, who's worked with Muse and Queens of the Stone Age, sent through this idea based on this spooky house thing, which ties in with the way we made the album. That's what we liked about it.
They kind of attract these strange cosmic lights that come down and sort of investigate the space in which they're recording.
I thought it was over, but it's not. I thought it was over, but it's not.
I'm going to do like my little part of the video where I leave the band and I just kind of walk off around the house and trying to figure out where these weird lights are coming from and looking for aliens. I've been visited by aliens, which is basically a big lighting rig which is sitting outside the window there.
About 25, 27 lights, something like that, on a crane that's being lowered and moved around the performance. So it takes a little bit of work to get that around, but it's been pretty good.
Well, they're supposed to be flashing back at me, but unfortunately it doesn't work. But they will. I think they're just having trouble with the controller for the lights, so they're trying to get it to, you know, undulate. But they're not. Anyway.
Playback.
Another year and the job was done.
They put in a lot of hard work on this, which is awesome, and everybody's been game for it. And it's been a long day to go through.
It's 1 a.m, and we've just been told by our director Paul that this is a wrap. We are finished.
It's now only 3 weeks till the album's release, and the record company are pulling out all the stops to make sure everyone knows about it. The pressure is mounting for the band, who are busy on the all-important promo trail.
Promo, as they call it, in record company lingo, is something you have to do if you're not very, very, very well known. You do interviews for magazines and papers, you get your photograph taken. It's almost like a necessary evil sometimes, but some of it's fun.
We are doing a cover shoot today with Dan for the March issue. The idea is to do a slightly sort of romantic, nostalgic feel to it, like a bit like kind of 1920s, 30s Hollywood vibe.
I was actually dreading doing the promo and the shoots and all the stuff. I was really dreading it. But now that I'm getting into it, I'm like dreading it less. I'm like, okay, it's fair enough, it's my job. And actually starting to enjoy it again. I go from looking like I've had a full frontal lobotomy, like that, to looking kind of worried and startled, and I can't seem to quite get the nice relaxed, moody in-between look. And the only other look I have is the eyebrow, and that goes up. And I have very little control over it, but it goes like that.
After a successful photo shoot, Dan has time to reflect on how the album might be received by the record-buying public.
If I put the album out that I want to put out, and nobody wants to buy it, and people don't really buy into it, for the right reasons, then it's like fair enough. You've got to kind of live and die by your decisions and by the choices you make. And when we made the album, we knew that we were going to make the album that we wanted to make. Because that way, at least we did that. If the album doesn't do well, I mean, if you were to try and compromise for the sake of record sales in any way, what you were making musically, and then it didn't do well, you'd be, kicking yourself.
Hello?
With such a hectic schedule and constant touring, it's hard for the band to experience normality. On one of Dan's rare days off, he heads down to the local market with boyfriend Ryan. It's a perfect opportunity to think about how success has changed him.
Whenever I'm not in London, I miss it loads, so that's all I can think of really when I think about London, is how much it's my home, and I love it because of this, because the markets and all the stuff going on. I think when you're born and raised in a place and it's as exciting as London, you never want to leave it, really. I love it here. Thank you. Love saves. People where I live here in East London are really cool. They don't really come up to you and scream at you that much. That happens more when I'm at my mum's place up in the suburbs. It's a bit more like, more of a deal. He's gorgeous. Isn't he beautiful? Occasionally, people do come up and say, I like your record, and when's your next record out, and stuff like that, and that's quite nice. But normally it's much cooler than that here in London. I mean, even if the band becomes more successful and more well-known, I don't think it's going to affect my way of life that much. Is there a cheese mushroom and spinach one? I really don't see myself as a pop star. I see myself as a musician. But I always did see myself as a musician, just that I was a musician who wasn't getting paid.
The band have spent the past few weeks notching up countless press, radio and TV interviews, but today they're doing a live session on Joe Wiley's hugely influential radio show.
Today we're here at Maida Vale Studios, the BBC, Radio 1. We're doing Joe Wiley's live lounge. But Joe Wiley's actually in central London. We all just talk on headphones, and it's not how you picture it really. I remember listening to this kind of show and you think everyone's just sitting in a room together.
It's like live on the radio. It's not pre-recorded like a lot of them are. There's a little bit more pressure. And I try and be, kind of like positive about it and confident about it. I'm not really that confident a person. I just kind of think that something's definitely going to go wrong.
It's very important. Radio 1 is pretty vital, actually.
A lot of the listeners don't know who they are. They haven't been to see a band live. They've maybe heard like one record or on radio, but don't know anything about them. And I guess the live lounge gives an audience a sort of a different understanding of maybe what they thought the band was. I mean, it's really important. Really important.
You have 4 minutes, gentlemen.
I'll be relieved when it's over. And I'll probably enjoy it while I'm doing it.
Radio 1's Live Lounge.
We should have there, feeling very warm and toasty, no doubt, in the Maida Vale Studios. The Feeling. Hello.
Hello there. Bye.